Hello everybody! Thank you so much for tuning in. For this video, I'm going to be talking about how to use an iPad to give feedback on Google Classroom. And so for this particular thing, you're going to obviously need like an iPad, right? And you also need some sort of stylus. So for me, I use the Apple Pencil, but you could use any type of stylus. And I've never tested it on other tablets, but I would assume it's similar if they have the Google Drive, or I'm sorry, the Google Classroom app on other tablets. I'm sure it would be a similar work for this. So the reason that I started writing on my iPad for the Google Classroom was because I was missing Google Classroom when the kids didn't returning in assignments. I would have to write comments and then typing, and I really wanted to give them a similar feel to something as if I were handing a paper that I hand graded back to them. And so if you have the iPad and the app, you can actually hand write things back to them. That's what I'm going to show you in this video. So I'm going to start by pulling up the assignment. I'll just show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like after the student has submitted their work. Okay, so here's the Google Classroom, and I'm going to go in here, and I made an assignment. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to hit View Assignment. And you can click, I guess from here it's probably a little bit easier to look at it from the start, but this is just the assignment that we've created. Basically uploaded an old Pizzazz worksheet that I had as the background and gave the students directions to complete it on paper and to use the line tool to cross out things. I probably would edit this and say make sure you type in your answer on the slide so that way I can see a quick check from the first part. And then the last thing is on the second page, take a picture of the work for grading. So students are going to take a picture, and if they use their cell phones, it's really nice because they just on their phone. They can also use the computer. It's not as great, but it works decently well. If they have a tablet, of course, they could do the same thing they do on their cell phones and use the camera on that. Post here if you need more space. So sometimes, especially because this is in landscape, sometimes it's going to take multiple pages for students to be able to post. So I'm going to go ahead and in a second, I'm going to pause this and then I'll show you what it looks like on the student end once they've turned it in. I'm actually going to turn it in and then I'm going to come back and show you on the teacher side how to grade it on the iPad. Okay, so this is actually, I want to show you this really quick. This is a student version, so this is typing in the answers. They would probably take some lines and cross them off of there, and then from here they can post their work. So I just want to show that really quickly. Okay, so this was turned in, and so I'm going to go ahead and now pull up my iPad and show you how I would grade this, especially on the work side. Now I'm on my iPad, and I am in Google Classroom, so I'm going to go to Classwork, and then I'm going to scroll down to that assignment. And once I'm in there, I can see that this one's been turned in, right? So I actually had to refresh, just as a tip. I didn't even know I did that, to show me that it was turned in. Okay, so it's turned in. So now I'm going to click on it, and I can see just what she put. Now, sometimes you might just have kids type things in, and so you could just look at it from here. But of course, math people, we like to grade their work, so we'd be really interested in this. I only did the first couple questions, but obviously this would be filled out completely for a regular assignment. So the first thing you can do, you can, if you tap kind of on the screen, then you click the little pencil button, and that's going to allow you to write on the screen. So I'm going to just go ahead, you can see on here, and there's some tools at the bottom, like an eraser. I don't even know what that's I don't even know what that does actually. So I couldn't even tell you. There's like a marker, and then the highlighter, and then you could of course put some text on there too. So I'm going to use the marker's pretty nice, but just because it's kind of large, I'm going to stick to the pen. You can actually change the size. You can change the color. I like that purple, so I'm going to keep that. Okay. And you can kind of play around with it. But when you go, and I did this the last time too, I always want to scroll down, but you want to hit the arrow button. So you might say, like, you can write feedback on there, like, this one's right, but then maybe circle these ones. That's like not really that thick, so let's change the size on it a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's better. And then you just click the little arrow button that is right here. So I'm going to click that arrow button, and it looks like this. And so from this view, you can go ahead and say like nice job or whatever feedback you want. You're just writing on the screen just like you would on a sheet of paper. If you're moving it 2 fingers so that way it slides and doesn't write. And then this here, you could say, you know, circle these and say, make sure to multiply. So make sure to multiply. And then you could say something down here like distribute before you add, right? Or something, whatever feedback you would write. And you could even, if you wanted, something that might be a neat idea is to add an extra slide on there if you're really trying to give them feedback and like a lot of feedback, not just a quick comment or two. You could write an extra slide, and then you could write them a little thing like maybe before a test or something and say like, hey, I really noticed that you're, you know, doing well at this, or need to work on that, or whatever. Okay, so now I'm done with that. So I'm done marking it up, and then I can hit save. And if you want, you could even score it on that page, like you could have wrote, you know, what it was. And if I exit out of this, it will give you this edited version. And so that's what is going to be attached to the assignment. So that's it. And you could say something like, please look at the PDF for feedback, right? And so that way they could actually see where their score was. And you know, you could even make these ungraded and then score it on there, so they have to look into it to see what they missed. Okay, so then you can, as the teacher, I'm just going to go ahead and return it, and that's pretty much it. You can add a grade on there, so I guess I didn't grade it. Oops. So I can return it again. I made that number up, and you can say, yep, and there it is. And so now it's been graded and it's returned, and she'll be notified that her paper's done. I'm going to go back to the student view really quick for the last second of this video to look at what it looks like from their end once they get it back. So now I'm on this page, and this is back in the classwork section. So down here was where that assignment was. If you click on it, it says graded. And so if I hit view assignment, I always try to tell kids to hit view assignment and don't just click on the Google slide that was on that, because it doesn't give you all the info. And so once you're in here, they can go ahead and see here this stuff, and then they can also look at the edited version there. So all the markups that I made. So anyway, it's really easy to use if you have an iPad. Like I said, I'm not sure about other tablets, but I love it for math because it's literally like grading a piece of paper and sending it back to the kids just like I would do in class, which is awesome. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.